What if I told you that the most powerful way to defeat disrespect is to not let it reach you? They expect you to react. They want to see you crumble. But what happens when you remain calm, grounded, unshaken? Picture yourself walking through a storm of insults and coming out untouched. That's not weakness. That's the quiet strength of Stoicism. 4 Stoic ways to handle disrespect like a true leader. In life, there will be sharp, painful, unforgettable moments when people treat you with blatant disrespect. Their words might cut like knives. Their actions might strike straight at your dignity. And in those moments, your instinct will scream to fight back, to defend your ego, to reclaim the honor that was just stripped away. But here's the truth. Disrespect is an external force. It only has the power to hurt you if you let it in. The Stoic path isn't about retaliation. It isn't about winning verbal battles or proving your worth through anger. It's about controlling the one thing you will always own, yourself. Your mind, your emotions, your reaction. A Stoic doesn't respond to disrespect by becoming disrespectful. They master themselves instead. They don't let the chaos of others disturb their peace. They rise above. So how do you handle disrespect like a Stoic warrior, calm, composed, and in control? Here are 4 timeless principles that will not only protect your peace but elevate your presence. 1. Understand that disrespect reveals them. When someone disrespects you, what they're really doing is exposing a part of themselves. Their actions are rarely about your worth. Instead, they reflect their own emotional chaos, their insecurities, their lack of control. So when you're insulted or mocked, remember, those words don't define you. They're not a mirror of your value. They are simply echoes of the storm inside the other person. Disrespect says nothing about who you are. It shouts everything about who they are. It's a projection of their fears, their inner turmoil, and their lack of emotional maturity. And once you understand this, you unlock the power to remain untouched. The Stoic doesn't retaliate with equal venom. We step back, we detach. We view the moment from a higher place. We see their actions not as personal attacks, but as symptoms of their pain. And when we see their pain, we release ourselves from the need to strike back. Once you understand that disrespect reveals more about the other person than it does about you, you've taken the first step. But now comes the real challenge. How will you respond? Because that's where true Stoic strength is forged. 2. Control what you can, your response. The second Stoic principle may sound simple, but in practice, it demands real discipline. Control what's within your power, your reaction. You cannot control how others act. You cannot dictate what they say, or how they choose to treat you. But one thing remains entirely yours: how you choose to respond. The philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Every moment of disrespect presents a choice, a silent inner test. Will you surrender to the fire of your ego, rushing to defend your wounded pride? Or will you rise above the chaos, knowing that your inner peace is worth more than any insult thrown your way? Because that's where your power lives, in your response. A true Stoic does not react impulsively. Instead, they pause, they breathe, they observe, and then, with clarity and self-control, they respond, not with anger, but with wisdom and understanding. This is the essence of inner strength, to remain calm, grounded, and unshaken, not swayed by petty insults or the emotional noise around you. Imagine someone ridicules you in front of others. They mock your work, your appearance, or your beliefs, trying to provoke a reaction. You feel it in your chest, the heat rising, the sting of unfairness, the urge to fight back. But instead of exploding, you breathe. You meet their gaze with quiet strength. You say nothing, or perhaps something calm and measured. And in doing so, you take away their power. They expected a show. Instead, you gave them stillness. You didn't flinch. And in that moment, they realized the storm inside them couldn't shake the mountain within you. That is Stoic mastery. Once you've learned how to control your reactions, you're no longer a prisoner to your emotions. But there's an even deeper level of Stoic strength, an unshakable understanding of your own worth. When you truly know who you are, no insult can touch you. 3. When you have a deep, unshakable understanding of your own value, no one's disrespect can reach you. The world will always have critics. There will always be people who judge, dismiss, or belittle you. But when you're grounded in your own worth, when you no longer rely on their applause or approval to feel valid, something extraordinary happens. Their words lose power. Their opinions lose weight. You know who you are. And that is enough. Seneca, the great Roman Stoic philosopher, once said, "A man who is good and virtuous cannot be harmed by the opinions of others." Why? Because his value doesn't fluctuate based on someone else's perception. Because he's not waiting for the world to validate what he already knows. When you stop chasing approval, you stop being vulnerable to rejection. When you stop asking others to tell you who you are, their silence, or even their disapproval, no longer has the power to shake you. This is where the true strength of a Stoic lies, not in being emotionless, not in pretending words don't sting, but in being so deeply rooted in your own principles, your own virtues, and your own sense of identity, that no one else's insult can alter your course. They might call you a failure. They might mock your efforts, belittle your goals, or question your intelligence, but their words bounce off you, because your self-worth isn't something they get to measure. You've already defined it for yourself. Imagine yourself as a massive tree, deeply rooted in the earth. Storms may come, winds may howl, but the tree does not break, it stands. The insults? They're leaves in the wind. They touch you, but they don't change you. That's the mindset of a Stoic. A mindset built on virtue, reason, and unwavering inner peace. Not external praise, not status, not image. You don't need recognition to feel real. You are real, and when that realization lives within you, truly lives in you, no outside voice can drown it out. 4. Ask yourself, what does this say about them? Not me? Disrespect is rarely personal. It says far more about the one giving it than the one receiving it. When someone lashes out, it's often because they are already at war within themselves. Their arrows aren't aimed at you because you're weak. They're thrown because pain inside them has no place to go, and so they fire it outward. Let them, Seneca reminds us. A wise man is indifferent to everything which he cannot control. When someone hurls contempt in your direction, don't mistake it as a reflection of your value. It's not a mirror, it's a mask falling off. They are revealing their wounds, not exposing yours. And so, you don't need to bark back at every dog that snarls. You don't need to throw stones at every shadow that moves. You don't need to attend every battle you're invited to. You walk on, and you walk higher. Because a Stoic knows, silence can be more powerful than rebuttal. Calm can be louder than outrage. Indifference, when rooted in wisdom, is a shield that no insult can pierce. You do not have to react to everything that seeks your attention. You do not have to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them mock. You keep moving forward. A Stoic doesn't win by fighting every petty battle. A Stoic wins by refusing to be pulled off course by noise, ego, or pride. True power is quiet. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't seek to prove. It simply is. If these words spoke to something inside you, consider subscribing to Stoic Glow, your home for timeless wisdom, inner strength, and the journey toward becoming unshakable.